The recording, and we are recording. Hello, everyone. Happy new
Hello.
episode. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, hi, hi. Welcome to the SIYP Uncensored podcast show. New week, new episode. Don't know what we're going to talk about. We're all going to find out together. How are you, Hazel?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's hot. But I'm in a different room because in the room in our room uh, there might be some distractions because the big Rottweiler, the big dog we have, kind of hurt her paw, and we don't know
Oh.
if it's because of the heated concrete outside before the garden that maybe like she burnt her paws because it's really hot, or
Mhm.
if she like scratched it or peeled the skin or something. So um, basically, there'll be a lot of distraction background. So I'm in another room. But other than that,
Mhm.
it's good. David, how are you?
I'm doing good. It was a really weird week.
Do you wanna
Hmm.
do you wanna start your share?
But sure. The uh I'm in a shamanic program at the Forward Society, and this weekend we're having an event. So I'm really looking forward to it, and so we just actually went through different cards and stuff every day, and just to get a message for ourselves and what we're giving up and stuff. So a lot of things came up for me, and actually I went through them. I'm not going to actually discuss them on here, but the yeah, so it was really beautiful, and yeah, because I know Spirit didn't want me to really work this week. Spirit wanted me to actually just deal with this. So and everything popped up, so it completely made sense because I wouldn't have had the time. But yeah, so that is where I am, and I am complete.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that was short and sweet.
That was short and
Yes,
sweet.
it
Okay.
got weird, so I'm not discussing it here.
The whole beautiful part about our podcast is we just share and we just take a look at what elements possibly showed up in our power or had us discover our power. And, like, I think you being complete and having to deal with what you dealt with. And the beauty is there's nothing holding on for you. Like I love when people declare them complete because it's complete. That's it. It ends. There's no, oh, but I could do this and I should do this and I would like to. No, it's complete. So I think we receive your completeness.
Awesome.
Very cute. So my share, my week is a little bit longer than yours, David. Just a little, okay? Just. So let's see. Like this week was interesting. I think this week is the second week into the training. Last week I had like week one, and this is like week two, and the class graduates on Thursday, and I'm still gonna be with them for like other roundtables, meetings, discussions, and all of that. But something really interesting happened this week where I think I was very confronted in my detachment. um, and like I was sharing last week, when I'm in a training versus when I'm dealing with clients on a one-on-one basis, the energy I get from clients changes. Like no two client interactions are like identical. So I know how to not attach to something, or I can release something, or I can give up whatever I'm resisting, because once I end that interaction, you know, the next one is completely clean slate, let's put it that way. But then with the people I'm training, it's the same people, same energy. And it becomes, I realized it was a little bit interesting to give it up, because every time I was giving it up, the people were still there. So the energy was like either through my judgment or who they were, um, the things I was resisting were showing up, and I had to go into like extra gear to detach, just to not give it power, etc. So up to last week, everything was good. But then this week, there were a couple instances where, for example, we have certain procedures to follow at work. And if you don't follow the procedures exactly the way the company wants them to be followed, not only could your performance be difficult because you're not following the procedure the way it's supposed to. So, if the procedure is there to make your job easier, but you don't do it, it makes sense that your job's not going to be easy because you're not following the procedure the way it is. So, if you challenge the procedure and everything, it's just making it uncomfortable for yourself. So, there were a couple cases in the class where, in a mix of energy, judgment, all of that, um, and not just a personal judgment, but then a reflection on the company, that really overwhelmed me because I defend the company, I defend my position, and I want to be a teacher. So when that was like confronting to me, standing in my detachment, um, it like at some point I just surrendered. I gave up. I asked to like step away because I can't go into the details specifically of what happened, but what I took from all of that, like one person had to, like we had to have a meeting and everything, but basically what I can share is how it went through, the detachment and giving up the resistance again from these people was interesting because I kind of allowed myself to go through whatever I needed to go through, but then at the same time I allowed myself to cut it off. So kind of similar to David, like you had to resist and like just like detach from it and whatever, and that was clear and complete. I tried to do that, but the more I was suppressing and trying to get rid of it, it was hard and difficult, and I can't share it. But then like when I gave it up, I was grateful I gave it up, and I felt what you felt, like the completeness. Like it has no power over me anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was hard.
Sounds like you had some resistance there.
Yeah. Sorry, David?
Oh no, that wasn't me. That was Halo.
No, no, no. I thought you wanted to say something.
No, I want you to acknowledge Hazel first, and then
Yeah, yeah. Hazel just said, sounds like there was some resistance. Resistance, yes, yes. There was a
yeah,
lot. A lot. There was past tense. No more.
awesome. Now you mentioned you said my resistance. So when you say my, you're actually claiming it as yours,
So the resistance, maybe?
or it's just resistance.
Or just resistance? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When you say it's mine, then you're actually claiming it as yours, taking it on.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I get that. I get that. Yeah, there was resistance, but it wasn't my resistance. I can choose to leave the resistance. Yeah.
And the resistance may, because you're in customer service, the resistance may be coming from the other person on the other line as well. So their energy could be coming through, and you're having a tough time dealing with that.
Talking about this, like while I was sharing that with my fiance and while I was sharing that with friends, again, without sharing like personal details or etc., it was interesting because everyone I shared that with was like, oh, X and Y person probably is going through this, is going through that. And I realized in that moment, I'm like, I could either, it was really interesting for me. I could either go into that conversation and be like, yeah, these people are going through this in their life, or I could be like, you know what, I don't want to go down that path because I don't like that. So I see there was stepping into my better version or stepping into a, the best version of myself because I chose in that moment not to, at least for self, not to fuel that conversation of what they're going through or their resistance or whatever, because I could see those two paths. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? And so the people I was talking to, Rebecca, like my fiance, I was just like, Yeah, I would love, my ego would love, just to be like they're the ones who have a problem. But I was like, no, even that judgment doesn't serve me. Like me allowing that label or bringing it into existence doesn't serve me. So I feel that was something cool. At least for self, I was like proud of it. I was like, it doesn't, what does it serve me blaming the other person or me labeling them? It does not. So I was like, I don't want to. It was really cute. So yeah, that showed up. And other than that, oh, I had a conversation with my dad yesterday, completely random. Because again, remember like what I've been sharing with my family is I've taken a step back. So I don't worry about them, I don't stress out about them. And one of the things I was worrying about my family is they're looking for a new apartment because they have to move out by September. And the more I would stress, the more I would be like, okay, Sophie needs to do this, like you guys need to do this, I need to focus on this. It would stress me out, so I gave that up. And yesterday, was it yesterday? I think it was day before yesterday. I get a missed call from my dad, and there was a part of me that already went to judge him. It's like, oh, probably he butt dialed me. He doesn't know technology. Like, why would he call me? So then and it was during work where he knows, but I'm like, oh, well, he might have forgotten or it might be an emergency, but I'll call him later. So I call him later, and long and behold, he was like, no, I never called you. Why did I call you? I'm like, I see, Mario Berti, like my dad's name. I see, you called me. Um, and then, he was like, no, I think I don't have anything to tell you. And I didn't make that mean anything. But then we spoke, I checked in on him. I was grateful because I haven't heard from him in a while. So all my fears, all my judgments, like, oh, God forbid if something happens to him, have I heard from all of that detached. Um, and I asked how are things with the apartment, and he was like, "Well, we're constantly looking, we're constantly searching." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm here if you need support." Indirectly, like I didn't want to open a conversation like, "Well, if you don't ask for support, I'm not going to support you," because I didn't know where that was going to go. I was just like, "Look, I'm here if you need me." And that's how we left it. And I feel like I'm allowing them to step into their power, to take on intentionality, to take on vision, to take on like giving up whatever they need to give up if it is potentially something like in their I don't know if it's like pride, but I know this is a judgment. Like if they need to give up something and detach from something to reach out, I'm there. So, and it was nice, it was really good. I feel like I empowered them to step up. I don't know what's coming out of it, but that was a cute conversation too. And that was my week. I am complete.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say when you were talking before about work and everybody telling you what the other person was going through, those are just stories. So, and
What is
again,
a
it's just like
story?
making meaning out of whatever happened, right? And you don't really know what the facts are with that person. So yeah, it was a good thing that you detached from all that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my week, let's see. So, something funny at work happened actually, because there's the head of our department, right? And all of a sudden I got a calendar invitation to meet with him. I'm like, what is this about? And my mind went into the tailspin, like, oh, why does he want to talk to me? When I joined the department, he didn't even want to talk to me. So why does he want to talk to me now all of a sudden, right? And I went into fear there, and I was like, I was having lunch with one of my coworkers, and I was like, oh, I'm scared. Why does he want to talk to me? And then I sent a message to my manager, who's beneath the head of the department, and I said, hey, so and so wants to meet with me all of a sudden. I don't know what it's about. And I said, do you? And I said, I'm scared. And he said, I don't know what it's about either, but don't worry. Don't be scared. You'll be fine. There's nothing going on, right? I'm like, okay. And then I go back to my desk after lunch and I find out that the meeting wasn't for me. It was for somebody whose name sounded like mine. And his assistant just assumed it was me that he was talking about. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I went into all this fear and stuff and everything just because of that, right? And then his assistant came over to me and said, "Oh, I'm so sorry that you got shocked and confused. That I made this mistake." And I said, "It's okay. I'm just glad I'm not in trouble or gonna lose my job or anything." But it just goes to show you, like, we've been doing this program for a while, and still this kind of stuff comes up, right? But, after I found out what had happened, the misunderstanding, I just, let it go and I just laughed and I was like, that's kind of funny, actually. And it was a lesson
And
for me, too. Yeah, because I went into judgment and fear and all this stuff. Yeah.
in the stories, you create stories.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Like
Big time stories.
I remember like while you were sharing that about because it's the head of the company, it immediately brought me back to like when I was in high school and if someone was called up by the principal,
Yeah, yeah.
you're in trouble. But the relationship I had with the principal, I think it was probably because I would always be there every 6 months because all through high school, every 6 months for like the midterm exams and then the full year exam, I wouldn't do well and I would have to collect my report card from her every like 6 months. Like my parents, we would always have to go pick it up, never with the rest of the class because you have to have a meeting with the principal. And then the one time I was called up to the principal's office was not during the exam time, and I was standing outside of the principal's office, and everyone just looks at you. Everyone's like, when they see you there, they're like, oh, Zayshan's in trouble. And I was like, oh, what is it this time? And when I went in, I actually saw a different side of my principal. Like she, for the first time, like, she acknowledged me and she's like, Zayshan, I actually need your help with something. So I was like, huh, okay, so, and I'm like, my mind actually went into the listening of, okay, it's not done. Her conversation's not done yet because I'm waiting for her to yell at me or say something or like, correct me. And I think that was interesting. I didn't realize it then. I'm realizing it now. But I wanted to share all of this because you're like, with all the work that we're constantly doing, sometimes it's still possible. I wouldn't say easy, but it's like possible that it constantly shows up. So I think that's just really great about self-development in the proof that there's no limit, there's no end to self-development. It's constant growth.
Yeah, and
Yeah, it
also,
keeps life exciting.
we're human beings. So, you know, we are gonna, things are gonna come up, right? And the only thing we can do is, you know, how we react to it, right? Yeah. Let's see what else came up. Uh, I've just been taking care of my health because I've been having that knee pain again, arthritis. So I went to my doctor and I asked her, can I get some imaging tests done on my knees? Because I want to find out if there's any cartilage left there and see what is causing the knee pain and the stiffness and the swelling. So just for me, that's being the best version of myself and also being intentional with my health. Um, what else came up? I'm just thinking. I guess also like vision, seeing myself healthier in the future and taking steps towards that. Um, and accountability. Uh, I can't think of anything else. I'm complete.
Okay. Yeah, David, that just brings me to one thing. I actually wanted to ask you this before I went into my share. Um, what elements would you say showed up this week for you in our program?
Hmm.
Oh, what elements in the program? So that would have been giving things up.
Detachment.
Yeah, detachment. And there was listening. Which part of that is
Intentionality, probably, like being intentional.
intention? Yes, yeah, it definitely intentionality showed up. And yeah, I would say that would be
And probably some accountability because like in your listening, yeah, sorry.
well, 100% because you know what? I was being accountable to because Spirit was just like, you know what, focus on doing the work this week. Don't don't worry about getting clients this week. So that's intent. That's the intentionality as well,
Yeah,
and that's the and what was the word again that you were using for
accountability.
the accountability? Because I'm being accountable to myself by actually doing the work,
So again, like
and
that's
the work
what
showed up,
sorry?
and the work showed up.
And the workshop. So like again, like I see from our program, like the first thing is vision, then intentionality, then it's like fear, gratitude, forgiveness, etc. And it's somewhat that order. I don't remember. But like I think the way it happened for your week is because through your listening you were intentional and accountable resulted in the detachment when then that series of combinations had you be like a better version of yourself, which had you be complete and boom.
Yeah, 100%,
Yeah, that makes sense.
100%.
I just got a mosquito.
Oh,
Sorry. There was a
wow.
That was
mosquito
weird. That was really weird. I
right.
thought you were grabbing at my face, and I'm like, what?
Now I want you to get some chopsticks and do that.
I can barely use chopsticks, but I eat Asian food, so like lovely weather. If people don't know what we're talking about because they're listening to the podcast, go watch us and you see me grab the camera. Um, all right, okay. Hazel, you're complete. David, you're complete. I am
Huh?
Yeah,
complete. And yeah, I think same time next week.
Yeah.
perfect.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye, everyone.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.